It says we're live, but I don't see a live.
We are.
Oh, we're live?
We're live.
Are you watching the stream right now?
Yep, it's on right now. We are good.
All right. Thank you, mister. All right. Um, Welcome back, everyone. After some technical difficulties, your boy's not looking too good right now. But we are at episode 2 of Creeper Hour. We're back again with the one and only TF Motorsports. Let them know who you are, my boy. Let them know who you are.
This is Thomas Frasco from TF Motorsports, and got about a month left before the 10th anniversary begins. It's gonna be 365 days of TF Motorsports. It's gonna be good.
You heard that. 10 years of TF Motorsports in the house. 10 long years. 10 years of a grind. X in Roman numerals. Yeah. But today we are talking about what made you love Monster Jam. You know, everyone knows the Critical Creeper. Everyone knows I have some very harsh opinions. But we want to just slow it down and talk about some of the greatest moments in our favorite pastime that is called Monster Jam, you know? We want to talk about the things that we loved about the sport, you know, and me and TF were over here talking in the Discord earlier today. I think it was yesterday, not today. It was yesterday where he sent me a clip of a drone flying around the Mercedes Dome. I think it was called. You said the Mercedes Dome in New Orleans, or I could be wrong. I'm probably butchering it already.
Yeah,
But am I right or am I
it
wrong?
was it was in New Orleans.
New
Yep.
Orleans, and it reminded us of better times, in our opinion, of the sport we all grew up and loved. So that's what the show today is about. What made us love Monster Jam in the first place? So my first question to you, good sir, is what made you fall in love with Monster Jam?
Okay, so this one, fortunate enough, I was able to actually tell Dennis this as well. This involves Dennis on TV. Um, I remember my dad scrolling through television at the time. I was still, in that stage. But eventually, my dad went to Speed TV, and this was like 2006, and they were doing a re-airing of a 2005 episode, and he decided to leave it on. And this one was Minneapolis 2005, and this was the event where Dennis burned down Minneapolis in freestyle. So for a little context, if you don't know, in late 2004, the first event of the season, for Dennis, he got shut off after tapping the wall, couldn't go anymore, and that's what led to the big rant, which is a pretty memorable part in early Monster Jam. So, and he promised that he would like tear that place down the next time he came back, and he doesn't usually. When they were doing the Minneapolis shows, he never usually went to the show like just a few months later in February, but he went there on a mission, and I don't know if he went racing, but freestyle. He blew through a motorhome. He was just cross draining the track, and eventually he just blew that transmission, and the whole place was just covered in like a thick white smoke, easily winning freestyle. And with that, watching that, I thought that was the coolest thing even at like what 2 years old or 3 years old, I forgot how old I was, but that's one thing I vividly remember out of those teeny years, and it's just the one thing that grabbed my attention and made me become a Monster Jam fan slash a Dennis Anderson Gravedigger fan.
You know, I love Dennis Anderson as I get older. I never really liked him when I was younger. But in my as I get older in my older years right now, seeing him the way he was talking back in the day in the sports earlier years, the presentation, the sportsmanship, the aggression, the grittiness, and it's like, man, as I get older, I can appreciate that. And in the earlier years of Monster Jam, it wasn't just Dennis Anderson doing that. Tom Ince was doing that. I found out that Alan Pizzo was doing that. The driver of Sudden Impact, the driver of Wolverine. You know, there was more drivers in the earlier years of Monster Jam that made it seem like what you're watching was legit. We don't get those no more today, you know? And I have a deeper appreciation of those videos as I'm going through them in the membership of Monster Jam, where it's like, wow, these guys are really here. They're passionate. They're telling you how they really feel. I wish we had more of that, but it really embodies the spirit of what these monster trucks meant to these drivers. That to them, it was more than entertainment. It was an actual sport. It was legitimate, hard blood, sweat, and tears. And people like Dennis, people like I forgot. I don't want to butcher his name. I'm gonna butcher his. I forgot his name. Alan Pizzo, etc. Things like that make me have a deeper appreciation of it. Dennis Anderson always will be a legend, especially in the earlier. Because I feel like when he got older, I feel like as the years go on in Monster Jam, he kind of got more tame. I kind of understand, but man, it felt like the Attitude Era of Monster Jam. You know what the Attitude Era is? You ever heard of that?
Oh yeah, the older WWF stuff, with like Stone
Yes.
Cold, Undertaker, The Rock. Yeah.
Yes, that's what Monster Jam back in the day felt like the Attitude Era. You know, them getting on that microphone and oh yeah, I slid into the wall. That was a BS call. Looking up at the little box in the sky. You're doing me wrong, man. You're doing me wrong. And it's like, wow, why am I just now finding this clip of Dennis years later? Like I've never watched the earlier years of Monster Jam until recently. I'm out of touch. I'm out of touch. Say what y'all need to say. I'm out of touch. Um, Mr. TF over here is not out of touch. You know, he's been watching the sport for a very long time. Next year is the 10-year anniversary of TF Motorsports. So if there's anyone who's more knowledgeable than me about this sport, about the older days, the grittier days of Monster Jam, it's your boy TF right here. And that's why we have him on the show today. How's everyone doing in the chat? How's everyone doing in the chat? I want the chat active live. This is the beginning of the show. We're going to be talking for about an hour or two about what made you love Monster Jam. If you're here in the chat right now, I'm DJ Moski right now. If you're right here in the chat right now, let me know. Let me know. I see we got a few viewers right now, you know. Don't be afraid to drop in the chat, you know. Ask us questions. Ask me, ask TF, you know. This is a community episode, you know. This is something different I want to do. You know, because we can only say so much. You know, what made me love Monster Jam was, you know, the trucks, the monster trucks, of course. And the very first show I distinctively remember watching was Minneapolis, I believe. Minneapolis in 2007. A lot of people don't know, but I believe, no. I could be wrong here. Which one? What year is it with the two blue bus stacks that Dennis jumped over?
Oh, that was late 2007. Yep.
Okay, I'm glad you said that
That
because
that one's historic.
so a lot of people believe it's actually 2008, but TF just said it best right here. It was actually late
Yep. So
2007. It was filmed in December, but it was released in 2008, which is why a lot of people mistakenly think that show took place in 2008, when in reality it was filmed in December. So I'm glad we have the boy
yeah,
here, TF over here. Um, he
yeah. Another. Oops, sorry. I just
go
wanted to say
no,
another thing that I
go
want to
ahead.
point out about that. So I think another reason why some people might mistaken that is because that's like the start of the 2008 season. They originally back then they started their season like late in like 1 year, and then they'd go from like then till like at least March. So for the 2008 season, they start like December 2007 and end in 2008. So yeah, so technically it's the 2008 season, but yeah.
Yeah, technically, but I like that you said it was late 2007 because it very much was 2007. I was talking to someone about a month ago
Yes.
about this, and I was like, it's 2007. No, wait, no, it was 2008. I'm like, the show actually happened in December They're like, oh, it's a technicality, but I like how TF clarified that. But that was my first show I remember watching. I think it was that or the 2007 War Finals, the one with Batman and Spectrochrome Gravedigger. But
Oh,
I finally found a
okay.
clip. Go ahead.
That just reminded me. Did you ever see the CBS Sports coverage of that when they like did like this highlight video of that World Finals?
I don't know. I would have to rewatch that. I mean, if you could send it to me,
Oh,
I'd look at it.
dude. Dude, you gotta look at that. It's on it makes it feel so much cooler. Like they have some of the best presentation that I've ever seen for like anything. And that was like peak CBS at that time. Yeah, Monster Jam CBS 2007. I do have the full video. It's from Tomster stuff, and he re-uploaded the whole broadcast. Like it's not like you know a traditional like speed thing or whatnot, but they kind of go over it in like highlight videos. They have like driver interviews, a thing dedicated to Gravedigger's 25th anniversary, and they have this like cool package with like some sick song choices. Yeah, you're gonna like this one. You can watch this after the stream though, because it has copyrighted music.
For sure, for sure.
But yeah, so once you get to that, you'll thank me later.
Most surely, most surely. Um, so it was that show too, but it took me a while to find this clip. I actually found the clip yesterday. I think it was yesterday, and I posted it on my Instagram. It was a Pablo Huff Faker freestyle. I remember seeing this when I was younger too. I always remembered it. I would think about it every now and then, but I finally found it, and I never remembered the quality being so bad on the video. Maybe it was better on my TV, but it was when Pablo Huffaker like did his second jump of the run. He jumped and he lost the wheel, but he lost the wheel. This dude started doing donuts on three wheels, right? And the front end came off, and the truck was still spinning in a donut motion. And the wheel that had just came off hit him and made him nudge back down onto the ground. I thought that was epic. I thought that I can't cuss. My bad. I thought that was raw. It was raw as heck. Seeing the truck going up on two wheels in a cyclone is some of the craziest stuff you see. Show me another clip where you see a truck on three wheels doing a cyclone and the whole front end just comes off. That was peak moment. That was, as the generation likes to say today, as the memes, it was absolute cinema. It was peak. So I finally found that clip, and that was a clip I do remember vividly watching as a kid. And I finally found it 20 years later, damn near. And I was like, wow, I haven't seen this since I was a little kid. Like, it brought a tear to my eye, damn near, because I have the membership now on the YouTube page, so I got access to a lot of clips that I haven't seen in years, or I'm looking at new footage I haven't seen in years or haven't seen at all. And I was looking at World Finals 2. I was trying to find this clip in World Finals 2, and I finally found it. He was the driver of Little Tiger, and he was the driver of Wolverine. And I don't know his name right now. I don't want to say it on camera and butcher it, which is why I don't say these names, guys. Because my English, if you notice in some of my videos, is absolutely terrible. So this dude called out the drivers. He was saying that I don't get what's going on here. Yes, there you go, Ryan. Ryan in the chat. It was Brian Bartho. I'm probably pronouncing his last name wrong, and if I am, I'm sorry. But I was doing some research for a World Finals video, actually, and I was looking at the Monster Jam Monster Truck Wiki to confirm the information I'm looking at. And I heard that there was a driver named Brian who called out the drivers, like his peers, like, hey, yo, what are we doing here? I have never seen such disregard for the trucks. You know, everyone's just going out there, and it just seems like they're intentionally disregarding their trucks and just doing, doing whatever. And he said this on camera, and I really wanted to find that clip because it was a point in my video, and I paid for the membership, so I'm like, I can't find it, so I paid for the membership, and there it is on World Finals 2. World Finals 2 was actually controversial. I don't know if a lot of people know that, because I think it was Clear Channel Productions. That's the company that had Monster Jam back in the day. Um, it was controversial because there has never been so much chaos, destruction, carnage at any Monster Jam event up until that point. Allegedly, right? I say allegedly because I gotta fact check it before I actually say it officially.
But
Um,
it's true.
so what happened was the reason why Brian was like, "Yo, what's going on here?" It's because at one point Monster Jam was like, "This is legitimate racing. This is legitimate freestyle," and that was the World Finals, in my opinion, that changed the game. So we had Michael from Who's Ready for Monster Jam made a top list of World Finals, and a lot of people didn't like the fact that he didn't rank World Finals 2 as high as he actually ranked it as one of the worst World Finals. And I can see why a lot of people were upset because retrospectively, that World Finals changed Monster Jam forever. And even though the technology, the advancements weren't as pungent as they were then as they are today, that World Finals, if it didn't play out the way it didn't, or if it didn't play out the way it did, we wouldn't be where we're at in Monster Jam for the next 10, 15 years after that World Finals. Because there was a call made where do we continue doing racing and freestyle clean and legitimate, or do we give because the fans loved it, so the company was like, do we listen to some of the drivers' concerns, or do we give the fans what they want? And that World Finals, even though I don't think it was the best, but looking back at it, I can see why a lot of people hold that World Finals to a high regard because it set the standard from that point on until World Finals 16, 17. And that's when changes started happening in Monster Jam where trucks weren't able to just lay out there in the middle of the field, get hit by another truck. The World Finals that followed after World Finals 2 were some of the more crazier ones because you had a bounty hunter that got stuck on the container. Lupe Souza hit him, and then you had Medusa that hit him. Some of these iconic moments would have not happened if it wasn't for World Finals 2. So I can see why a lot of people were upset that, okay, why are you ranking World Finals 2 as one of the worst World Finals ever? Nah, you got to look at World Finals 2 as a top 5 World Finals just for that reason. And I haven't even watched the whole World Finals yet, and I'm gonna say that with what I already know. So if it wasn't for that World Finals, what made you love Monster Jam? Most of these moments that we all loved and come to know would have never happened if it wasn't for that World Finals. If it wasn't for the company being like, you know what? The fans loved it. It was an absolute junkyard. There was trucks all over the goddamn place. Do it again. Let's do it again. Let's give the fans what they want. And I'm pretty grateful for that. And I said on my Instagram post that Brian Barthel, he predicted the future of Monster Jam because that's what Monster Jam became. Entertainment, crashes, chaos, trucks being on 3 wheels, going crazy. So even though I haven't, so what do you think about World Finals 2, Mr. TF? What do you think about World Finals 2? I'm sorry for my tangent here, but what do you think about World Finals 2?
Yeah, World Finals 2 was definitely controversial at the time. Well, first with racing, I think Tom Meents, I think he knocked down um, knocked down something down at Thunder Alley, and it caused like a flood. So they had to go and start the rest of racing
He had like one of those above
inside of the
ground hydrants. My bad.
yeah. So they had to start like inside of the stadium, and then there was a flag issue. So then they thankfully reran one of the races that they messed up, which then it all worked out. But then for freestyle, again, this is where you know how people complain about some of the stuff back like in 20 I think like in 2019 or 2018 people were complaining about like lack of cars and stuff like that. This is pretty much the equivalent, but back then
You said
people were
2018.
like, well, that's what I'm saying, like or 2019 or whatever, when everyone was starting to complain about the crush cars starting to fade out. Um, this is kind of I'm just kind of comparing it to that.
Yeah.
So with with this year's World Finals in 2001, there was people actually that were complaining who watched monster trucks since the 80s because of that reason that you brought up about the destruction. But that was like the changing point for Monster Jam. That was like the ultimate changing point. And I think stuff just kind of happened, but then they just kind of dug deep into it, and then we started getting moment after moment. And yeah, I do agree. Although it wasn't too pretty of a World Finals, especially when it came to racing. Freestyle definitely had, I think, one of the most iconic moments, and it involves Dennis and Tom, as usual. So with freestyle, obviously at the time, Dennis really hated the wrestling thing going into the monster trucks because it seems like they're like taking, they're just having like the wrestling fans looking over to like the wrestling trucks and like not looking over to like the actual like monster truck guys. And like Dennis liked Tom and everything, but at the time he didn't like Goldberg. And
Is there a
so
reason why they
during
didn't like Goldberg?
freestyle, because like pretty much they were like pretty much yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much what?
So pretty much like he noticed that like the fans were pretty much just flocking only to like the wrestling guys pretty much,
Oh, okay, okay. I hear you.
and not actually like the monster truck guys.
Okay, okay, for sure.
And he didn't want it to be like that. And then, well, thankfully for him, this was the last time that they were going to have it because WCW eventually went out of business the same year. So at that event, Dennis, as you saw in freestyle, he went for Goldberg on that container as Goldberg was stuck there, and he flipped over the truck. Then he said he had another one. So then he just trashed that truck. I think after he trashed 14, he brought out 7. Number 7, he just hit a jump and broke the rear. And then he said one more. And while he was getting the other one, Tom noticed, and Tom was getting to the other Goldberg truck that he had in the back. So Dennis comes back out, this time with number 12, and he goes back to that same container that he used 14 to go into, and he got it stuck right next to Goldberg. And then Tom Meents comes out. He's got, I think, the number 1, I think. And he goes, and Grader 14 was flipped back over, and he's right in the middle of the track. Tom just hits the Gravedigger truck and just breaks the front tie rod and goes right on its lid. And that is something that still lives on as one of the most iconic Monster Jam moments. Because it was just pretty much like a demolition derby. And obviously, from what we've seen, we've never gotten anything like that ever again. And I think it should stay like that. It's like a once in a lifetime moment, I think.
So I
And
didn't.
obviously, I just wanted to say also afterwards, yeah, then there was that iconic clip where Dennis and Tom were hugging it out and like being bros, and that's just how Tom and Dennis were.
So I didn't know that Dennis didn't like the Goldberg stuff. Maybe because it's like, hey, nobody's paying attention to Gravedigger. Aren't you guys here for Gravedigger? Aren't you guys here for me? Me, the Digger
The
Man.
well, pretty much the main thing was though, like it wasn't centered around monster trucks. It was pretty much just some wrestling guy bringing his fans along, and then like it just kind of takes away from like the sport itself. So that's why he didn't really like the wrestling stuff. Like,
But
yeah, pretty much
but
like
but but I'm
Yeah.
Gravedigger, man. Why don't care about Stinger, Medusa, NWO, Goldberg. I'm Dennis Anderson. Cameraman, don't look at Goldberg. Look, I'm Dennis. I'm the legend. Look at my mustache. Look at my mustache, man. I'm Anderson, man. Look at my throttle rhythm. Hey, cameraman, follow me. Follow me. Where you going? I'm sorry, bro. Like, I'm sorry, bro. Cause
Um.
look, man, look.
Anyway.
So I saw a clip of it's on the Monster Gym channel where it's like, it's like, we're here. I'm Goldberg. We're gonna kick Gravedigger's little, and they said the A word. I'm just like, yup. The reason why I'm not swearing is because the monetization on swearing is worse. No cuss words here. So I was like, oh God, like they're cussing here? That's crazy. I wish they cussed more because I remember being in San Francisco in 2024, where Vendetta parked his truck, and just briefly before the camera cut, he got out his truck, he flipped off his camera. Or he flipped off the truck and the camera caught it, but the camera cut away. I just wish we had more grittier moments like that. And me personally, I was never a fan of the Goldberg truck at all. I was never a fan of the wrestling trucks. I actually have Goldberg right now above me. I actually might get it for the camera. Hold on, y'all. Hold on.
He's getting it.
Hold on, y'all.
Look at him. He's finding it.
Hold on, y'all. I can't hear anything. I just disconnected my earbuds like an idiot. Oh God.
He's getting it. Here he comes.
Oh wow.
Getting the Goldberg truck and all that stuff.
I'm stupid for this. Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Here it is right here. I don't even like this. This is the Goldberg truck right here, right? It came with the this lady was selling 250 monster trucks. I think it was it was not 200. It was 100. And I don't like it. I never liked Goldberg at all until I was looking through these clips on YouTube. I'm just like, you know what? I do have a deeper appreciation for Goldberg because, in my opinion, without Goldberg, there would be no Maximum Destruction. There would be no Team Mitch, and I believe that. Maybe I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, let me know down in the comment section. But I sincerely believe that if we didn't get a Goldberg at all, there wouldn't be no Team Mitch. There wouldn't be no Maximum Destruction. And the reason why I like those trucks to begin with, is because the exhaust pipes are hella long for no reason. They're like 3-5 feet long. I'm just like, damn, dude, look at that beefy engine with the beefy tubes on that thing. Hot tub, spin on that thing. Hot tub, Goldberg on that thing. Hot tub, NWO on that thing. So it's like, let me fix my headphones. Hold on. Hold on. I'm gonna flip my camera. I don't want y'all seeing my face. Hold on. Gotta fix these headphones. There we go. They're on properly. Beautiful. I'm back. The Critical Creeper's back, y'all. He back in this mug. So yeah, I think part of the reason why the encore happened in World Finals 2, I was reading, was they had a lot of pay-per-view time left. So they're just like, you know what, let's do it to it. And I know Tom and Dennis had a bromance rivalry that was kind of seeded by Monster Jam. But to me, it was never a competition. They always hyped it up. Even in Salt Lake City, there was a couple I was talking to. I think they came from Alaska. So we were in the parking lot across the street from Salt Lake City, from Rice Eccles Stadium. We're across the street. The parking lot was packed. Everyone was leaving. So I said, instead of leaving, I'm just going to chill here. I saw some folks chilling. Look like they had a few cold ones. So I'm like, hey, yo, can I get a cold one too? You want to slide a brother? You want to slide a brother a cold one? And then eventually they gave me a cold one. I'm like, right on, brother. Right on, brother. You know, this is my name, Blanche Blanche. You know, hey, this is my lady. You know, and then they introduced me to his lady. You know, and they said that they've been to almost every World Finals, and they said they've been watching this whole Tom versus Dennis thing their whole life. I'm just like, damn, cuz, damn, right? So to a lot of people, that Tom and Dennis rivalry really kept people engaged, hooked. And I get it. I do. But to me, it was never a competition. My boy, not Dom, my bad. I'm thinking about WWE here. But my boy, Tom, not Dom, but Tom, he always wiped the floor with people at the World Finals. How can it be a rivalry when this man Dennis only finished with what, 4 or 5 championships before he retired? What was the exact number?
4.
4
It's 4.
championships. Four. 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 You know, me personally, I don't consider high jump and two wheel skills legitimate competitions. So if you take away the 14 and put it back down to 12, I believe it would be without the two wheel skills and high jump. I think my boy Tom wiped the floor with Dennis. What rivalry is there? This guy got almost 3 times the amount of championships than you, my boy. And they really marketed it as it was some type of oh yeah, you got to see this rivalry. My boy Tom was wiping the floor with all of the competition. All of you guys, man. Tom was a beast. I was just thinking about Tom in the shower. Pause. Pause. I don't mean it that way, guys. Pause. I was just thinking about a video idea, because I was like, damn,
Uh,
man, I kind of miss Tom. I really do. And that's why I have him as my thumbnail.
yeah.
Um, Tom Inch is my favorite driver.
Yeah.
He's a legend. He's a pioneer. And he is one of the things that made me happy, made me love Monster Jam. Who's your favorite driver?
Well, obviously Dennis was my favorite when I was growing up. But yeah, there's of course Tom Meents. He had some really also like some really mind blowing moments. I also really liked Adam Anderson from his Taz days, and also the iconic Great Acre Freestyle in Atlanta 2007, and also John Cesac too. And I also want to touch upon the rivalry, and I think the reason why a lot of people really like the rivalry was because when both were in the building, whether they were racing each other or competing in freestyle, they were going crazy to outdo one another. Like if Dennis was there and Tom wasn't, well, Dennis was still thrill down, but or if Tom was there and Dennis wasn't there, Tom was still thrill, but it still wasn't really the same. But when both were there, they seemed to have gone harder than ever just to beat each other. Dennis would win a few, Tom would win a few. Um, like there was many points where like racing competitions would occur and they would just hold nothing back just to beat each other. And then for freestyle, they would push their trucks farther and farther. And yeah, there would even be some points on the mic where they'd be like, "Yeah, Tom, like, what else you got?" Or like Tom on the mic going, "Hey, Dennis, you got more? Bring it." It's like it was just this really cool thing that I think was like the light for Monster Jam, in my opinion. And one of my favorite things about old Monster Jam, obviously, a lot of people point out, all these different things that have been kind of said a lot. But for me, I'm one of the people who says that one of my favorite things that really had me watch Monster Jam all these years was the rivalry between Dennis and Tom. It was just unmatched. And it really didn't matter like how many world titles they really had, in my opinion. it was just each time they were even in just like a regular stadium event, they went crazy, and it's definitely something that's never going to be matched like ever again.
I agree with you, man. I agree with you because I hear people be like, "Oh yeah, we got Adam and Tyler Manning on the same tour now. It's gonna be different." Or we got Tyler and Adam on the same tour. It's gonna be like, look, man. I don't care about none of those motherfuckers. I'm sorry, I just cussed for the first time. I don't care because they're not developing a storyline where it's like, you know what, these two drivers are beefing with each other. They're trying to be the best. I don't get the same hit I get when I was growing up watching Dennis, like you were saying, or Tom going at it. And there is nothing like that. And Moss Gym, in my opinion, Reagan said this on my podcast. Reagan said that why do you think we don't have another Tom Mintz? Is it because there's nobody else that's like him, or is it the fact that the company won't let the drivers develop into another Tom Mintz? And somebody was saying that Tristan England, I think his name was Moss Jim California on Instagram. This dude said Tristan England's the new Tom Mintz. I even seen people at Salt Lake saying that this Zach Garner freestyle run was a mint style run. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Pause. Pause. Don't you dare disrespect my goats. Don't you dare put them in the same level because they're not on the same level. How dare you guys? When people were saying that, I laughed. I laughed. I'm like, for one, this is not a mint style run. You guys are tripping. And then two, Tristan England is good, but he is no Tom Mintz, bro. He is no Tom Mintz. And no disrespect to Zach Garner. I love Zach Garner. Zach Garner is actually one of my favorite drivers. But you'll never ever see me putting Zach Garner and Tom Mintz in the same sentence. I gotta be smoking crack to be saying that. I gotta be smoking them BKTs to be saying that. Like, come on, man. I'm not like y'all
Smoking the BKTs. Can we have that on a T-shirt?
smoking
Can
them
we have that on a T-shirt?
BKTs.
I smoke BKTs.
Y'all smoking that BKT pack, talking about. Yeah, this is a Tom Mitch level. Where I was like, oh God, oh man. I guess what I grew up watching is nothing comparable. Like Neil Elliott, in my opinion, is a better driver or a better freestyler than Zach Garner. Sorry, not sorry. If you disagree with me, let me know down in the comments chat. But I really hate some of the comparisons that some of the fans do because, in my opinion, it's just disingenuous. Like, are you guys so deprived of great moments that the great moments we do get today because they're at special sanctioned events such as the World Finals, where your guys is like, whoa, we haven't seen that in a long time. That is a mid level run. I'm not gonna say names, but a big YouTuber said that. I was like, you smoking them BKTs, my brother. You smoking that. Someone get him off that BKT pack, bro. He's smoking too much of it. So it's like, bro, nuh-uh. Tom Mintz is on his own level. And I love Tom Mintz. I always will. And I will be making a video about Tom Mintz pretty soon because there will never be another Tom Mintz. There will never be another Dennis Anderson. And I get what you're saying about the rivalry because that's probably one of the only ones they really worked on when they could have made more out of it. They could have done more out of it. They could have made more other rivalries within the sport. You had other drivers that were personalities such as Medusa or George Belhan or Avenger. They weren't seeding more characters to clash with each other, and Dennis and Tom really carried the company. And as I was saying about the person in Salt Lake City, um, part of the half of that conversation was about Tom and Dennis and how they used to throw it down for the sport and what they represent for the sport. And I'm kind of sad Tom did retire, and it's kind of sad because he was still out there while Dennis was long gone. And it's like Tom, in my opinion, was the last piece of a relic from older days of Monster, even before Monster Jam. You know, Tom transcended eras. I have never seen Dennis do. Has Dennis ever completed a whole backflip, or was this only attempt the one in Tampa? That
Oh, yeah, yeah. So pretty much he tried to do a backflip in Baltimore 2012, over rotated, but I think it was Glendale of 2016 where he finally nailed the backflip. I think I vividly remember watching that on YouTube. And then unfortunately his career got cut short with the backflip in Tampa 2017, and he hasn't drove a Monster Jam since. And he's got I mean, he has some cool stuff going on right now, but for his last year, it definitely was a bummer way to go out. And it's also kind of odd and poetic because Tom Mentz, he went out on his last year because Dennis, during like an interview at the Monster Truck Hall of Fame several years ago, he said he was gonna keep driving until 2017, and literally 2017 35th anniversary, he got injured and he was done for the season. And then Tom Mentz, his retirement season, 2024, couple shows in, gets his injury, out for the season. And they both had this similar type of crash, which was a roof impact, which is like the worst thing you can have in a monster truck competition. So it just seems pretty interesting that both of their last seasons got cut short by like nearly, like, even though that Tom's wasn't a backflip, it still technically was like the same type of crash in a way.
it basically was. Rather it be one doing a backflip and then one having a weird bounce and then the roof of the truck gets landed on. Um, Pretty sad. I seen Tom at SoFi and I tried. I mean, I got to the pit party like an hour after it started, and that line was out the tents, man. And they cut it short, and they said, "Yeah, boom." There's people chasing Tom down. I'm not one of those people. I had my chance. I should have came earlier. I had my 5 pack of. Should I get up again and go get another toy off the shelf and show you guys?
Five pack of BKTs.
5 packs of BKTs, man. We should put that on a shirt. But I got a 5 pack of the Maximum Destructions, Team Mints, Goldberg. I have like 5 Tom Mints trucks or just Max D trucks, different schemes, whatnot. Maybe one day I'll come on live stream and show you guys a few because I can't keep getting up and be like, yeah, I got to take my everything. I'm not doing that. So I had that with me to get signed from him. I already got my 5 pack of Gravedigger signed by Dennis. I got that signed by him in Antioch this past year, in March. I talked to Dennis for a few minutes. I interviewed him, told me a lot about Monster Jam. I think he's one of the most humblest dudes I've ever met. Just thinking about it, one day made me want to cry because he was like, thank you for, coming. Thank you for thank you for putting food on my table for my kids. My kids are appreciative. You put a roof over their heads, and really thank. He said that to everybody in line, and that's why Dennis is always going to be goated to me, because
Hmm.
there's not a lot of drivers that do that. A lot of drivers just, hey, here's a signature, maybe chop it up. I mean, me personally, I don't go to pit parties and get everyone's signature. I don't resonate with the newer drivers today. I don't. But every time I go to World Finals, for example, like SoFi, for example, I went up to Jim Kohler, told Jim Kohler, "Hey, yo, how you doing, man? I like your truck. I like this little LA scheme you got going on." And I asked him the question. I'm like, "Hey, so when is Spin Master gonna create you like a 5 or a 10 pack of Avenger schemes like they have with the Max D's or the Gravediggers?" He's like, "I don't know, man. I'm curious. I'm wondering the same thing." So I only have a picture of me and Jim that day, and my lady likes his son. He thinks his son looks like he belongs to Charlie Ponkin. She thinks Charlie Ponkin is Chris Kohler's actual biological father, and I don't see how she comes to that conclusion. But we always get every time we go to World Finals, we get pictures. I get a picture from Jim. She gets a picture from Chris. So this past year in SoFi, I went up to Jim again. Nobody was at Jim's line. Nobody at at Utah was in Jim's line. I'm just like, damn, dude, isn't this a legend?
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
here's the biggest
Same
thing.
thing. Same thing with me.
Was you at Salt Lake?
No, I was at MetLife this year, and yeah, like his line was only just a few people, and I just walked right in. Like I met Jabari on the way there, and like yeah, Jim Kohler, he was literally just right there. I'm like, really? Like he's a legend, and like nobody's there.
See, I was talking to someone in the Discord about this a few months ago. Like, you guys say Monster Jam is popular than ever. You guys say that these are legends and stuff. Where are the lines to reflect that with some of these drivers? Like, all you like, look, I'll say this about Jim, and this is a hot take to some. I'll say that Jim is a hit and miss driver, and I'll say that he ain't as good as people say he is. That's why I say he's hit and miss. And to this day, I don't get the buzz around him. Maybe in his earlier years, yes, he was Mr. Excitement. He was very popular. Hello,
Oh, yep.
I don't know.
Uh,
You're
Everything all right?
yeah, you're. I don't know. The audio is crazy
Yeah,
right there. You heard that too? Was that just
yeah. A little bit.
okay? I was just like, what's going on with the audio? I'm getting abducted over here, y'all. The BKTs are coming after me. So I had a conversation with someone.
Wait. Before you continue, I just want somebody, if you're watching this, to put a BKT counter like in like the corner of like the screen to count how many times we've said BKT in this one video alone.
Infected by
It's probably a lot.
BKTs. That's what Mr. Ryan just said in the chat. Infected by
Yeah.
BKTs. Yeah, BKTs,
I
man.
mean, smells good.
So
I see colors now.
I see colors now. Man, you inhaling too much BKTs. So
Son of a bitch.
so I was having this conversation, like, like I think I'm not saying this to disrespect Jim. I'm not. Jim is he's a legend. There is moments in the sports history that he provided for us. Me saying these things aren't me discrediting him whatsoever. Even in his later years, there are some things he does do. He's, like I said, a hit and miss driver. But if the sport is as popular today, and if he's such a legend, why are you so easily able to go to his line and be like, "Oh, how you doing?" You could have a conversation with him at times. Like, if I wanted to, I could talk with him for another 2-3 minutes if I wanted to. Um, I think, to me, I think it's paras. I'm not gonna say it's parasocial. It's not. There's a fine line in getting to meet your heroes or the people you watched your whole life versus being obsessive and being parasocial. Those are two different things. So every year I go up to Jim, and every year I will go up to Jim. Because I like Jim. I want to get many pictures with him, and he's one of the older drivers that I've been driving not since 2010, not since 2015, not since 2020. No, he's been driving way before the 2000s. He's been to all world finals in Monster Jam history. He is a very cut. He belongs in the Mount Rushmore of Monster Jam. And this is why I don't go up to these new drivers. Maybe the new drivers do have something to offer, but I don't go up to drivers I didn't resonate with. And even though I do like some of the newer drivers, I don't know them. They don't have a personality to me to be like, you know what? I like who he is. I gotta go up to him. Um, I don't know. How do you feel about Bryce Kenny, for example? How do you feel about Bryce Kenny?
I mean, Bryce is all right. Like I've seen him do some really good freestyles before. Um, and I'm trying to think of I think there was something that caught my eye that I liked. That was like an interview, but I just can't remember what that was because I'm still at that late day stage where after like tough work I can't remember anything. But like he can throw down. He does have somewhat of a personality, but still he still has a lot of weights holding him back. I feel. like to actually like let things out. And it's kind of like the same thing with Ryan Anderson. Ryan is a really good personality in Monster Jam, but again, there's some things that he can't say because it's uh, I guess just modern times. I don't know, but yeah. But if there wasn't really that much restrictions, he would have been one of the voices of reason, pretty much.
Well, where I'm going with this is just personality. I don't care what you say or do. Like, how are you on the microphone? How are you at the pit parties? Are you charismatic? Are you distinguishing yourself from other people out there? And there's only a few drivers, even to this day, including old school and new school drivers that do have personality. I don't like Bryce Kenny at all. I know Bryce Kenny's a good driver. I think he's a great driver. I just think the man got no personality whatsoever. Because I call him the salesman. I call him the salesman because on his little Gears and Nachos podcast, dude's always trying. I could be wrong, but I don't know how many episodes he tries to sell you his book. But every time I see a few podcasts of his, is always he'll mention every now and then geared for life, geared for life. In my book, geared for. I was just like, yo, is there anything else you do besides mentioning your book and Christianity? Like, I got no problem with Christianity, but Christians gotta let you know they Christian, and people who have a book gotta let you know I got a book, I got a book, I got a book, I got a book, and it's like, okay, bro, I know you got a book, bro. What else can you say? How's them BKTs treating you, dude? Do you like the BKTs? Do they taste good?
Adding that to the counter.
Do they do they do
They
they send you
taste
to the
good.
moon? But other than that, I just feel like a lot of newer drivers. Because here's my biggest problem with the newer drivers, bro. I'm gonna say a hot take, and this is why I made a video. I tried releasing it, but failed copyrighted it. It's like a 12-minute video of me ranting about how no drivers today have personality because even the new ones, as soon as they get hired on by failed, their Instagram is all of a sudden, I'm a Monster Gym driver. I'm a Monster Gym driver. I'm a Monster Gym driver. Monster Jam this, Monster Jam that. Who are you? You driven no less than a month, and you're talking about Monster Jam this, Monster Jam that. Maybe I'm a unk. Maybe I'm an old head. But when you turn on the speed days, when you turn on maybe the Fox Sports 1 days, you had people who had personality. You had George Belhand. You had Lupe Souza. You had Dennis Anderson. You had Tom Mintz. You had Sean Dehon. Or I butchered his name again. I did the same thing in the video. Sean Duhan. My bad, not Dehon, but Duhan. Right?
There you go. There you go.
These people
Yep.
did things to separate themselves. Right? I'll never recognize Barry Musauer as a zombie driver. I think Barry Musauer is pretty whack. I'm just gonna say it, man. I think he's pretty whack. Even though we have the same skin color. Sorry, brother. But it's just that he's pretty whack to me, bro. Like, he ain't got no personality. The zombie truck, okay, here's the arms, cool. Here's my little RC, cool. And that's all he is. That's all he is. Where's the character? Where's the charisma? Where's the charisma? A lot of these drivers, they get hired with Monster Jam, and then they just talk about, I work for Monster Jam. I drive this truck. So who are you? I like Cynthia. I'm gonna pronounce. I'm gonna butcher her last name. But when you go to her Instagram, she does. Here's my problem. I'm sorry, guys. A little rant here. Here's my problem with drivers. Drivers like Cynthia let you know that I'm not just only about Monster Jam here. I got other things outside of Monster Jam that make me who I am. Then you have a lot of drivers that make Monster Jam all they are, you know? And before Reagan deleted his little rant, he mentioned how a lot of drivers in Monster Jam stayed too long in Monster Jam and just made Monster Jam who they were, right? And I was just talking this about my coworker that to a lot of people, Monster Jam is their peak. And I get why, because you feel like a rock star, you know? You got thousands and thousands of people in that stand cheering you on. You don't even have to do much to separate yourself. Really, just drive the truck, do a crazy wild moment, and you got fans for life. You know. So I see why a lot of people use Monster Jam as a placeholder to be something in life. And I get that. But my problem with these new drivers is that's all they do. But when I see Cynthia, I think she's an amazing personality. She acts like she wants to be there. She drives like she wants to be there. She's always having that energy. And for example, Kristen Anderson. Kristen Anderson to me is someone who doesn't seem like they want to be there, in my opinion. Um, but Cynthia, on the other hand, she seems like she wants to be there. She's ready for work. She has great personality. She's going to tell you more about herself outside of Monster Jam. And I really think that modern Monster Jam needs more personality, such as Cynthia, Tyler Menninga, or people like, because I think Ryan has more personality than Adam, actually. Like, to me, Adam's washed out. Like, how do you feel
Hmm.
about Adam Anderson?
Um, I mean, I haven't been really paying attention to like Adam really, since the season. I mean, I remember he was struggling with the new truck, but when he got to the World Finals, he was actually getting better at it. But in terms of like outside of Monster Jam, I haven't been paying attention because again, I don't have Instagram anymore, so I can't really answer that.
Oh, okay. I should rephrase my question. Just Adam in general. Now, like just in general, how do you feel about Adam as a driver? Adam. So now personalities wise, I'm talking about within Monster Jam. And you don't necessarily need Instagram to answer these questions because some drivers bring their personality to the table, such as Jim Kohler, such as Tyler, such as Ryan. Um, and that's pretty much it. I don't think there's much. I could be wrong.
Mm.
Chat, let me know. Let me know, chat, if there's people who actually bring that 120% to Monster Jam. Um, Adam, okay, we got another comment here. Ryan said Adam is okay. I met him a few times. Yo, is there something coming in my house? Hold on. I got my screen door open.
Uh,
I ain't got no window over here. Hold on, let me close this window. Getting spooked out. Maybe it's the draft. Could be a raccoon.
BK, is it the BKT gods trying to haunt you?
It's the motherfucking BKT gods. Oh, little demonetization going on right now. It is what it is. We're having fun tonight. So yeah. So Adam to me kind of fell off. Not personality one. I don't know him personality. I'm just talking about just driver ability. Drivers that you did look out for. Like let's switch the conversation from um personality to just drivers in general. Like how do you feel about Adam as a driver?
Well, I feel like he's still good. I mean, like he was not really firing on all cylinders during the season. He was still working out the kinks on the new truck, but he got to the world finals and Adam suddenly became the Adam of like nearly the of old. Like he was suddenly like flooring in almost every ramp and just getting it when he was driving the legend body.
You mean racing or freestyle?
So I think Adam freestyle like at the world finals when you were at Salt Lake. So I think, in my opinion, now that he's got the kinks worked out, I think he still has a few more a few more good years left. In my opinion, I don't think he's quite washed just yet. It was just that new truck kind of bothering him because it was the same thing with Tyler. Tyler had issues with his newer truck, and he wasn't doing as good, and he was breaking down a lot. So but yeah, with Adam, I think he's once again back where he needs to be, in my opinion.
Yeah, Adam when it came to freestyle was amazing, but for the second year in a row, he literally got beat by Brianna Mahone for the second year in a row. I'm like, yo, he got beat because I was doing a video. I was looking at my video. I'm like, wait. He got beat by Brianna Mahone at World Finals 23 in SoFi. And the next year at Salt Lake, he got beat by Brianna Mahone again. I'm just like, bro, you're washed. You're washed. My GOAT is washed. And Brianna Mahone really won me over these last 2 years because she's whooping that Adam Anderson BKT ass, whooping that ass. She's whooping that ass.
Oh my god.
So it's like,
Are you still there?
yeah,
Okay, good. I thought you blew out your mic.
my bad. I don't know. It's just, bro, Adam, how are you losing to Brianna Mahone 2 years in a row? 2 years in a row, bro. You were my GOAT. You were my legend. Audio's kind of
I
acting
think
up right
Critical
now.
Creeper has gone in. I think he's gone insane. Everyone be aware. He's
Yeah,
gonna start blowing up buildings.
I'm gonna start. I'm gonna blow up your BKT. I'm gonna land on all 4 BKTs. Shit. Wait. Oh, okay, guys. Hold on. Sheesh. Sheesh. But yeah, you know.
What are you trying to do?
So you never heard of you never seen the little thing where the guy, like, the people, they extend their whole arm out, and then when they say sheesh, they basically like place their hand.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I mean, I'm sitting down, which is why it probably looks weird. I mean, I ain't trying to stand up and show you how big my BKT is, guys. Pause. Ah! But I didn't mean it that way, guys. Out of context, I meant my stomach. I'm a pretty big dude, y'all. I didn't mean it that way. Please, I didn't mean it that way. Pause. Because I'm a chubby guy. I gained some weight these last few months, so that's why I'm sitting down. Kind of inappropriately placed. My apologies. I know if people clip that, your boy is getting critical canceled for real. So. I ain't getting canceled. I don't care. I'm just trying to be funny here. But yeah, what else can we talk about? Is there anything else you want to talk about? Like any other moments in the sports history that you want to highlight real quick or whatnot?
Mm. I think we should go back to that Atlanta 2007 thing. Both Tom and Adam lay down really good runs, and both were on the old Feld YouTube channel that's still up right now. I remember watching those when I was a kid quite frequently, both because everything just felt insane when you're like listening to it with like headphones later on when I started doing that, but also just Tom getting big air and just really, doing vintage Tom stuff and then rolling the truck over and putting it back on all four wheels. And then Adam blowing out the shock and Dennis just cheering on his boy, just telling him to just keep rocking. And he just started cross threading and got a good save in there. And it was just definitely like, I think with like both runs, especially Adams, in my opinion, I think that kind of solidified what really made us love old Monster Jam or just Monster Jam in general back then. It just had like it just felt so insane. Like I wish that I lived in Atlanta because I would be going crazy if I was in that crowd. Like if you haven't seen that run, I don't know where you've been, but it's Atlanta 2007. Adam Anderson filling in for Dennis. Dennis on the mic, cheering on his boy. It's a moment that is one of my all-time favorites.
I think I just watched that last night because I was looking for that. I was looking for a run. I remember it was a run where I think Adam flipped over, and then they flipped him back over, and then like they gave him like okay, like your freestyle's done, but go give him an encore. And it was Dennis on the microphone just cheering him on as he was giving him an encore. It could be that, or it could be the video you're talking about. 'Cause I just watched the one you were just mentioning. Was it the Georgia freestyle where the bus was yellow and blue, right?
Yes, it was yellow and blue. It was like a striped bus stack. It looked pretty nice.
All
And I
right, for
sent it to
sure.
you anyway just now.
All right, I just seen that. I think I recorded it because there's a lot of clips I'm recording for a video coming out. Um, I don't know how long the video is going to be. Um, I'm actually waiting for the season to start to finish that, to even put together that video, because I'm waiting on confirmations to see if what is speculated right now is coming true. But that was one of the clips I was watching where Adam was filling in for his dad, and it was a crazy freestyle. It was crazy. Um, Tom to me was always iffy at times because I want to bring it to that 2007 Minneapolis show in December where Dennis was going crazy over that butt stack over and over, and then for some reason Tom was just like like he wasn't really going hard as Dennis was. It's like bro, put some more gas in that truck, bro. Like, come on, put your foot down. What are you doing, bro? You're barely clearing the double, dude. What's going on over there? Like, when I was watching as a kid, I'm just like, look at this weak ass crap, bro. You're Tom Mintz, bro. You're my goat. There's no way you're getting wiped by the floor with Dennis right now. Are you tripping? So it's like I don't know. There's some times where Dennis has the upper hand, sometimes where Mintz has the upper hand, and there's times where both of them are giving it their all. And I just saw a clip of Craig Christensen, right? Craig Christensen is not the best Mintz chassis driver at all, which is why they eventually put him in a CRD because there's been times where he would flip over the Mintz chassis very easily. But there's a clip I posted on my Instagram yesterday of him going against the driver of Cowboy. I can't think of the driver's name right now. Um, I think it was in the Georgia Dome. But you can see Craig Christensen driving the Mintz chassis, but he's not using the rear steering at all whatsoever. Because it's like he ain't that talented. And to me, there's only one maximum destruction. I don't consider none of these CRD or rear-mounted engine chassis, whether it be a Cajon, a PEI, or or whatever. Maximum destruction only belongs on a front engine chassis. All these other imitations, they're dead to me. And when I see one on the rear mounted chassis, I'm just like, no, that's Max D in name only. I don't know what Feld was thinking. I don't know. I don't even know why fans acknowledge their existence. That's not maximum destruction to me. It's like seeing Gravedigger be put on a black chassis. That's not Gravedigger to me. That's Haram. That's banned. I don't know what you guys are doing here. So when I ever saw maximum destruction on the CRD, like Blake Granger in the later years before it was retired, I'm like, that's not maximum destruction to me. I don't even know what truck that is. If it ain't on a Mintz chassis, as you can tell, I'm a Mintz chassis glazer. If it's not a Mintz chassis, I don't want it. If it ain't on 4 BKTs on a Mintz chassis, I don't want it either. Send it back. Send it back. Cook it more. Give us some more BKTs. But to me, there's only one maximum destruction, and it always has to be on a Mintz chassis. And I give it up to Craig Christensen for real, because Craig Christensen is a mixed bag when it comes to the Mintz chassis. Um, Even though he wasn't using the rear steering at all, it was kind of a lackluster Mintz style drive that show. I think it was the Georgia Dome 2009. Um, I still give him props because to me, if you could drive a Mintz chassis without crashing it, if you can drive it, win, and do a good freestyle in the Mintz chassis, I want to give big props to Colton Eigelberger here because Colton Eigelberger is a if he had more time in the Mintz chassis, I think he would have been the next Neil Elliott. I'm just gonna say that because there's only so many. There's only 4 drivers. No, there's 5 drivers. My bad. 5 drivers that can drive a Mintz chassis and make it look badass. That's Neil Elliott. That's Tom Mintz. That's Colton Eigelberger. Um, what's the other dude's name? Um, there was somebody else. There was a fourth person. I can't think of their name right now.
Who Jared?
It wasn't Jared. Did Jared ever?
Which one are you talking about?
I don't know if there was five drivers. There's four
Oh,
drivers. The dude who drove
oh,
the
oh, wait a minute. Oh, is it?
I know you know it. I know you know. I
Wha-
just thought about it.
wait. Somebody who drove what,
The
like a front engine Max D?
a front engine El Char Loco.
Front engine Ultra Loco, Chuck Warner.
Yeah, these four drivers can drive a Minch chassis. Everybody else can't drive that to save their life, bro. These four drivers belong on the Mount Rushmore of maximum destruction. Okay, because anybody else, I mean, no, I was gonna say Frank Kremel, but Frank Kremel never driven a front engine chassis. Because I was thinking about Fox Sports One, but that was Neil Elliott. Neil Elliott driving at that one World Finals when it was the Fox Sports One on a Minch chassis. I was about to get it wrong, completely wrong. So only four drivers to me that are goated when it comes to Minch chassis. I love the Minch chassis. I love the front engine El Tar Loco that Chuck Warner was driving. Very peak moments. I wish they didn't get rid of the Minch chassis because it kept an element of freshness in Monster Jam to me. But I'm kind of glad it was retired because they would have just put it on the CRD. And I don't like maximum destructions on CRDs. I don't. I'm sorry. I hate them. They don't exist. I see one. I turn the TV off. If I see one at a show, if I ever went to a show and there was a CRD Max D, I'm walking out. I'm walking out. I'm ripping up my ticket because that ain't maximum destruction. I want the real thing out here, not the Temu version of it.
Also, about the tickets, how are you gonna rip up the tickets if there's no more physical tickets with Ticketmaster?
You right. You right. So when I was at Salt Lake and it was raining hella hard, I was literally debating on going home because I was on my way, not home, but back to the hotel. I was on my way to the stadium. I went to the last chance qualifier. There was no rain. I was on my way to the because I think I was there for the pit party, and I was there so early. I went back to the hotel for like another 2 hours. On my way back, it was raining like crazy. It was raining hard. I'm just like, God damn! And I heard that the stadium was under severe weather. So I'm like, you know what? I kind of don't want to go no more because I hate mud shows, bro. Especially World Finals mud shows. I don't want. If it was if it was gonna be a Nashville event, I don't care if I paid for the ticket or not. I would have never gone in the first place. You're not gonna see me at a mud show. Hell no. Hell no. I hate mud shows for real.
And yeah, but yeah, I don't mind mud shows because I like pretty much redneck shit.
Redneck shit.
But again, with the yeah, like mud trucks and going through mud pits. But it's just the World Finals format I was more against. But anyway, that's a topic for another day.
Man, you see, I didn't release the video on that because I was like, what's the point? I had a video in mind. I'm just like, what's the point? Like, what is the point, man? And instead of talking about some BS tonight, I just wanted to talk about some good moments. Things that made Monster Jam, personalities, past moments, drivers that are no longer here. Because I want it to be a more positive show. I don't want to be on there for 2 hours crying and whining, even if the criticisms are, in my opinion, sometimes truthful and have some weight in them. I don't want to be on there for 2 hours talking about the same thing. Like, oh, there's Critical Creeper again. I feel like people got Critical Creeper fatigue. I really do. Um, and it is what it is. So, format. You just struck a nerve, brother. You just struck a nerve. Don't do it. Don't do it. Someone passing my BKTs. Someone passing my BKTs,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. He needs his BKTs to calm him down.
The BKTs. So, you know, what's another thing we could talk about? What is your number? what is your top five World Finals out of all the World Finals? Let's talk about that.
Top, top five. Ooh, that's gonna be tough. Because I know World Finals, like 7, 8, and 9 are really good. World Finals 9 actually recently, a couple months ago, I got it on a DVD, and I'm glad I did. Um, that one's still my favorite. World Finals 8 would be like a close number two, and then World Finals 7 would be um, like a close number three. But then number four would honestly be World Finals. Probably would be like World Finals 18, and then number five is actually a pretty tough debate on like which one would be number five. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get back to you on that for number five. I'm thinking.
Let me ask you another question. Do you believe any World Finals since leaving Vegas will ever make a top 10 in
Um,
of all
from
time?
what the No, because there's a reason to this. It's just the direction for where they're going with the track designs, and also combine that with the new format that got introduced this year. I don't see that ever really getting to that point. Like, if the format was normal and if they had like unique things about the track, we might be seeing that. But unfortunately, because of their new format and just the way of how they're starting to do the tracks now, I don't see that happening for anytime soon.
So I was telling my girl this that you can let 20 years pass, and let's say Monster Jam just crashed and burned in the 30s coming up, right? I don't think anyone would ever rank the World Finals since leaving Vegas as a top five or a top 10. I think as time goes on, you'll never rank any of those as top five, top 10. Now, I do believe there is a top five for modern Monster Jam World Finals, and I will be making a video in the near future about that. I already got the thumbnail made, but I'm tired of making thumbnails and be like, yeah, this video. I always have videos planned, and then something else catches my eye. But I do believe there is a top five video discussion I will make about it because there are some good World Finals. But in my top five, just a little sneak peek for this. But in my top five of World Finals since leaving Vegas, automatically number five being the worst, Nashville. That's all I'm gonna say for now. Um, but when it comes to my top five World Finals, if Vegas, including Vegas, top five, um, five in no particular order. Um, excuse me. World Finals 2, World Finals 9, 10, 11, 15, and uh, I, I would say World Finals 13, I believe it was. I could be wrong. But I believe as time goes on. So, what are your opinions about World Finals 15? Let me ask you this first. What are your opinions on World Finals 15?
World Finals 15 was definitely something like that we haven't seen up to that point. Like racing, that was different, and freestyle, crazy. I mean, the track was just a full test for drivers, and 32 drivers competing in freestyle on the same night. Like that's definitely something that I thoroughly miss, and it just had such a different feel, unlike the other World Finals. Like it felt like a refresh, and I think the moment that still sticks out to me is Todd the Duke. Like you hear the Metal Militia song playing, and all of a sudden you just hear him just roaring down Thunder Alley, hitting the ramp at like almost full speed, and getting like 4 seconds of airtime, like, and somehow not breaking the truck and winning the title after a couple more backflips and then a crazy crash at the end. Like, it's definitely a World Finals that's really, 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 really entertaining to watch. And you know what? I think I'm gonna put that at number five. I think that's my full number, my full top five.
I've made the argument because I was like that video I was telling you about. I was making about Rest in Peace World Finals. I stumbled across World Finals 15, and I know that it had a big giant purple blob, and I told myself I'm never gonna watch this World Finals because look at that goddamn purple blob. Like, what was the goddamn track crew was thinking? Like, if they didn't paint the connecting pieces like purple either, I think it'd be better. You know, like it's just one. When you look at it from an aerial view, it's just like one big giant purple shit, right? But there was a video I stumbled across it of the track crew, and I wish Monster Jam made more videos of this, of the track crew working on the. They have it for some World Finals, not all of them. Maybe they do in the failed archives, which they mentioned on the Inside Monster Gym podcast a few weeks ago. But as I was researching this video, I was like, you know what? Damn, look at this track. Like, look how big the jumps are. Like, you know, I know a huge thing for you is big jumps, right? When you seen the jumps and how
Mm-hmm.
steep they were and how tall they were, and I saw like Bad Habits run, some of the jumps were bigger than Bad Habit, and I'm just like, you know what? I got to do a video about World Finals 15, so I started watching it actually this past weekend. I've been really sick all week, so I haven't really finished it, but it really cemented the fact to me that World Finals 15, give it some time, give it a few years. I know some people don't rank it in their top 10. I know some people have it in their top 20 or top 15. But I believe as time goes on, World Finals 15 is going to be a top 5 World Finals of all time for just two or three different reasons. And I'll just say it right here real quickly. Like the format change, the first format change in World Finals history, where they split the competitions up into 2 days. You know, freestyle is on night two, racing's on night one, and the field of trucks is massive. And a little sneak peek into my video. You know, I will mention this in my video too. The goddamn pyro was insane for that. Like the budget for that show was insane because almost every race, every time the trucks went down past the Thunder Alley into the stadium, fireworks would go off. I'm like, God damn, this pyro's going off the charts, man. My BKTs are going off the charts, man. Like, what the, you know? So it's like God damn, the freaking pyro was going crazy. So it's like, I think people will look back upon this World Finals for a multitude of reasons, like the fireworks, the pyro, the encores, the halftime show, the truck lineup, the freestyle track change. It set a precedent for World Finals all the way up until Nashville. Nashville was the start of something new, which was the single day format where you won't get a track change. So I think that World Finals 15, rightfully, in my opinion, should be a top 5 World Finals of all time because it ushered in almost a decade's worth of damn near a decade's worth where the track crew would change the track overnight. And some of the best tracks, even though I don't think they're the best tracks, I believe World Finals 15 to me is one of the last greatest tracks in Monster Jam history to feature the track the way it featured it. The steepness, the crush cars, the little trailers embedded in the dirt, the format change, the 32 trucks, the 2 nights, the fireworks, the encores. This show had a lot going on for it, and I really do believe it belongs in the Mount Rushmore on the greatest World Finals ever of all time. And you guys will see in my video whenever I get done with it. that with the reasons I'm going to outline and explain with examples and recent and new examples, I think it does deserve a lot more love and credit than it, because a lot of people think it's a terrible World Finals because of the purple blob, and that was one reason why I didn't watch it myself either, because of this goddamn purple blob. But I'm just like, you know what? Once you look past that, it's actually a pretty good World Finals, and I think it should be more respected and treated with care as time goes on, because it was an amazing World Finals, fool, and it started a trend and set a precedent, a good one, not a bad one. So that's my opinion on World Finals 15. That's all I got to say about it for now.
Until later.
Until late, I gotta finish watching racing, and I gotta do freestyle, and I got time markers in my notes so I can go back and screen record it for my video. Like, I started multiple videos, I just don't know which one I'm gonna finish first. So yeah, this live stream might be the only video for this weekend, because I want to enjoy my weekend and I want to get better. I'm feeling better today, actually. Now I'm not as sick anymore, but whew, these last few days, man, I've been just terrible, feeling under the weather.
Yeah, it's that time of the season. You just gotta make sure you take your medicine and relax.
So, is there any last words you want to say before we start closing out the show?
Just just really wish that fella could do their research. That's about it.
By research, what do you mean?
On how to turn things around, make the ramp steeper.
I get it. I understand, and I'm 100% with you. And someone posted a picture. I'll send it to you on Discord after the phone call. But it was a picture of Patrick looking at like a microscope, and he was in like scientist clothing, whatnot, and it said failed with motocross, and then it said there's a picture below it that said failed with Monster Jam, and it had Patrick with a hammer, a nail in his forehead, and there was a plank of wood on that forehead, and it's like they have made so many changes over the years of how do we do Monster Jam, and it's like just stop changing it. And me personally, as I was going through the archives on the Monster Jam membership, I think some of the best presentation when it came to racing stopped in 2008. I think 2008 was the last year they used the turning poles, and they started just using the crush cars as turning poles. I don't like that, because looking back on it, I kind of have a deeper appreciation for those things, because when you hit a turning pole, that's a 5-second penalty. And just imagine the level of competition today maneuvering around goddamn turning poles, bro. Trying to get the sharpest turn without hitting them things. Because when you hit a dirt pod, you just hit the dirt pod. That's all it is. But if you hit a turning pole, that could be the end of the race for you, bro. Like in my opinion, some of the best racing presentation was from the year 2000 to 2008. And this is just me looking at the older stuff. And then like they moved the turning poles into the turning cars, and then the turning cars into dirt pods. And it's like there's so many things that I feel like Feld can take from the past and then take from modern day Monster Jam, combine the two, because there is elements of modern Monster Jam that are great. I'm gonna get into that in my video that I have planned for the deeper dive series, right? A little sneak peek, right? My last episode of that series is what can Monster Jam do from taking elements from the past and combining it with elements of today and making it the greatest seasons of Monster Jam. We already know they're not going to do that, but hypothetically speaking, what are some things we can take from the best of both worlds and make the next greatest era of Monster Jam, And part of that has to do with presentation, legitimacy, turning poles, crush cars, two-wheel skill ramps, whatever. Combine the two, and what do we get? We get a Frankenstein of golden era shit going on. But that's just me as someone who cares about the sport, and I feel like the fans don't care enough about it. They just get fed this corporate information about why they can't do certain things anymore. Or the biggest defense people make for the ramps nowadays is look how much air they get off the ramps. They don't need to be big ramps anymore. Look how much air they get. It don't matter. It's about the perspective. What made World Finals so memorable? The triple bus stack, because it was huge, but not only because it was huge, but because of perspective, because of what it took to clear that thing. There was like 6 drivers that hit it, and only 2 of them landed it cleanly. So when you seen a truck land it cleanly, it's of how long the jump was, how high the jump was, and the perspective of how big the jump was because of how big the ramp actually was. You don't get those things when it comes to perspective, when it comes to modern Monster Jam. The ramp is 3 feet tall, and they're getting like 80 feet of air. Cool, that's cool and all, but it's like they're just using less and less dirt, and I don't think fans should be excusing that by saying, look how high the trucks are getting. You're just giving Feld an excuse to use even more less dirt, because you made a very good point in your video of how they're using less dirt and how the ramps are becoming smaller, because they are. They are, and fans are gonna just defend that.
Yeah, and it's crazy because like it's not like we're talking about old like Monster Jam from like 20 years ago compared to now. I was comparing it to like 2018. Like that's not even that long ago. And I remember seeing um Chicago style from there to Chicago style from recently during the fall. Before it was steep, like you were able to get some pretty good air no matter where you went. But now the arena pod got cut in half, and then the other corner became like a smooth ski slope, so you were only to get like a safe distance and maybe like a safe clear on the other side, and then the jump that's like turned on its angle was like it was almost pretty much like tire height, and then you had the crush car ramp, which was very flat. Um, but yeah, it's like I don't know if I'm like the only one that's seeing that, but after seeing both photos, it's pretty clear as day that they really made it a lot more less, costly.
Cost saving measures. Um, I think the West Coast or the West Coast tour is getting that new track where it's all one giant megapod basically, and I don't like that. But when I seen that design, I'm like, this is for surely for the baseball stadiums in the West Coast. I think it's West. It might be for the East. I don't think the Chicago style is for the West. But that big giant pod of doo doo, it's weak. I'm like, no. Like I actually like the Chicago style one more. And the Chicago one style that you took a picture of in your video, the one from 2018, it's pretty cool. And if I have to have a dirt ramp, this is my go to right here. And I wish the tracks were purple too. I like purple. Purple is one of my favorite colors too. I haven't seen a purple track in real life. I would love to see a purple track in real life. Um, a lot of people don't like purple tracks, but we haven't seen that since 2018. It's in one of my thumbnails too. Like, I would love to see a purple ramp again. I would love to see a purple track because for the last 4 years now, um, besides yellow being an exception to it, it's just been red and black or black and gray. Which one do you want? And it's like there's more colors,
Mm.
man. We can use green again. We can use purple, violet, orange. They used orange for that Puerto Rico show on Halloween, which is something different. Um, what's another color they can use? Uh, Not gray. I would say
Um,
gray would be terrible color.
nah. Probably like a nice white and blue combination, maybe, or blue and yellow, or like
Green and
something
yellow
that
is the
would really
worst.
look nice.
Yeah, I wish they had more colors to the tracks. And I think 2000 and I think it was 2011 was the final World Finals to have more than two colors, right? And that started beginning the trend of only having two, three colors on the track. Um, and it's been the same, and I feel like we need to change it up. I feel like we need to change the colors up. I don't want to keep seeing the same colors. But hey, Feld said this is what's making us money. The dirt, we're using less dirt, and yeah, you know, now I'm getting depressed over here, my boy. Now my BKTs are getting deflated over here, my boy. We were just talking about so much good things of Monster Gym earlier. Now we're talking about the decline of the sport, my boy.
Well, yeah, this is what happens though, because it's just a true fact, you know. It's not like it's opinion based. It's literally like proof in the pudding. And I've already had all my rants and all that, and I have my only rant video that I'm going to be doing for a while, which that's been out. So yeah, but the reason why we went back to it is because we watched it for like a while, and also for you, you're learning all this old stuff that you never saw either before or missed out on. And now that you're learning this up, it also kind of ties back into what we've been talking about since day one. Um, and yeah, I try as well to kind of stay on the positive method. But even if I blink for a second, it turns right back to what what I've been trying to like avoid.
So
Yeah,
as
it's
of
like if I look at freestyle, like it's. Yeah, oh, I just want to say, like it's like if I look at Freestyle Mania, like the new version of Freestyle Mania, I'm like, all right, don't say anything. They're watching their thing, whatever. It's like, oh yeah, Tony Oaks is driving JCB now. Oh, what's this for? Oh, it's for that show. Okay, I'm gonna go get a quick drink of water, swig it down, and I'll watch some Gateway Nationals. Yeah, it's tough to avoid.
hold on, open. I want to share a picture on the screen real quick for you guys. Let me just move my thing right here for now. So instead of always looking for the negatives in Monster Jam, with the international tour lineups that we just got, and how they're the same identities on all the other goddamn tours, I was like, you know what? As an older fan, I can't believe I'm saying this, but the independents are keeping Monster Jam interesting. I was never around to see the Red Jester. The Red Jester is my favorite Jester, actually. This is why I have it as a thumbnail right now. It's the video I was gonna work on for this weekend, but I think this is the only video that I'm doing, which is the live stream. I don't like uploading a video on Sunday. I like to get it out before Friday or Saturday. Saturday being the latest, but I'm not gonna have time for that, so I'm probably just gonna do this for next weekend. But the independents keep Monster Jam fresh. They keep Monster Jam interesting because there's only one Jester. There's only one Jim Kohler and Avenger. There's only one Mayhem. There's only one Black Pearl, and the Black Pearl from the 2024 SoFi World Finals, that was a sexy ass truck. You know, I love the little SUV Escalades. They're beautiful to me. So, little sneak peek into the video. I just want to go over my appreciation of the independence in Monster Jam because Monster Jam seems obsessed with just having every half of their fleet in every tour. You got 5 Sparkle Smashers now. You got 5 Grave Diggers. You got 3 JCB
Ooh, I
Digatrons.
get yeah, I get the list. I get the list.
You
Oh, here
read,
we go.
yeah, read it off.
Six grave diggers, six grave diggers, 6 Ultra Locos, 5 Sporkle Smashes, 5 Megalodons, 3 Zombies, 3 JCBs, 2 Thunder Horses, and 2 Bailey Circuits. Jesus Christ.
So my problem is this: they'll be like Team Gravedigger, JCB, the Team Sparkle Smash, Team Zombie. Well, all the other teams have different numbers, and if it's a team-based sport, then to me, when World Finals 25 roll around, that 28 field lineup, at least 12 of them trucks are going to be duplicates. 12 of them are at least. You're going to have at least 5 Gravediggers, of course. If I swear to God, someone screen record this, screen record it, and send it to me on Instagram when World Finals 25 roll around. But I shit you not, when World Finals 25 rolls around, you're going to see at least 2 or 3 Sparkle Smashes in the main field. This 28 truck field lineup is to get more failed duplicates in it. And I will be making a video about what I would like to see at World Finals 25 because I'm trying to go, and that's probably going to be my last event for a long time. But this 28 truck lineup to me seems like, okay, we got more opportunities for more activities here, but with more field-owned identities being brought into the lineups again, such as the International Tour, having nothing but Megalodons, Zombies, Eltar Locos, Sparkle Smashes again, right? That's the 6th tour, and there's like more identities that were already here stateside across the other 5 tours. So the reason why I love the independents more and more as time goes on is there's only one independent per truck. They have teams, but they don't have. It's not like Team Tomfoolery Motorsports, for example. They don't got like 3 Jesters and then 2 Excaliburs and 2 Krakens. No, each truck is a different identity, and that keeps the sport fresh. When you have the whole team competing in Monster Jam, it's a layer of freshness. And as I get older, I can appreciate that more because, Monster Jam is hell-bent on, all right, guys, our international tour lineup, what we going to do here? Should we bring back, hey, Guys, gather around the table. Gather around. We need some ideas of the identities we want on the international tour. Which one should we do? Captain's Curse. No. That's too old and too gritty. No. We can't do that. Pirate's Curse. We just retired that, but that's a good idea. Keep that in mind. Okay. Whiplash. We already have Brianna Mahone driving Bailey Circuit. Good idea. But next time. How about Sparkle Smash? You're a motherfucking genius. Yeah, put it down. Write that down. We need another Sparkle Smash. Write it down. Anyone else got any ideas? You want to do the fire variant of Megalodon? No, it's not the World Finals, and we don't have that body on hand, so we're not going to use that. What we could do is we got all these excess Megalodon bodies in the Field Entertainment Shop at headquarters. Megalodon, write that down. Whoever writes it down first and brings it to my table right now gets a week paid vacation. All right, guys. So any more ideas? We need 3. We need at least 4 more names to compete on this tour. We could do another JCB Digatron. That's why you're my favorite, man. Write that down. Get Scott Jordan on Instagram right now to make the announcement for Team JCB Digatron. We're going live right now. Okay, we need 2 more identities, guys, before we can release the list to the public. We need 2 more. We have that yellow body of Eltar Local laying around. Nope, it's not the World Finals, but we do have excess Eltar Local bodies laying around. Good idea. Write that down. We need 1 more, guys. We need one more. We do still have that Nitro Neon Zombie laying around. It wasn't destroyed at World Finals. Nope. No. But we will get Zombie in there. Great idea. Add Zombie to the international tour. This is our tour lineup, guys. We got Megalodon. We got Sparkle Smash. We got Eltar Loco. We got all the greatest trucks that you'll ever see. We don't care about originality no more. We care about profitability. When you turn on that live stream, you'll see the same trucks on each tour. And we can put schemes, we can do paint jobs, but we won't do that. And you guys will enjoy it. this audio is going crazy.
Hmm.
That's all I gotta say, though. You know. But yeah, in my opinion, the independents are really the most interesting part about Monster Jam nowadays. Expect this video. I know I said this weekend, but I'm on live stream right now with the boy TF. So, you know, I I will be going over my deeper appreciation for the independents because as I get older, and as I get more in my, as I get the more, as I get the TF Motorsports blood flowing through me, and waking up the demon inside of me to rant about Monster Jam, I'd rather just try to focus on the positives here and be like, you know what? Let's talk about the independents for once, you know? Let's talk about it. Any final words, mister?
Um, but yeah, so it's been definitely a pretty interesting off season, but very excited for more projects to come. Very excited for all sorts of things to be done, and stick around. There's definitely going to be a lot of good things coming.
All right, you guys. I really appreciate you guys joining the live stream. Anyone that's still here, almost 2 hours again into the live stream. I didn't plan it for going for. I didn't plan on it going for 2 hours, but hey, we just talk about what we want to talk about. Not a thumbnails change. If anyone's still struggling in here, you know, we're just talking about the independents. But I want to thank everyone here. Thank you for joining the second episode of the Creeper Hour with TF Motorsports. TF Motorsports, let them know one more time who you are.
Yep, if you want to check me out, I'm on YouTube, TF Motorsports. Motorsports Hour starts up spring 2026, and 2026 is the 10-year anniversary of the TF Motorsport name. Very excited. So keep your eyes out for some really good stuff coming.
And with that, Critical Creeper,